Good evening. Good
Good
evening, all.
evening, sir.
Good
Good
evening.
evening, sir.
We can start by a lot more to discuss. There are two sections in your syllabus, so it is something a tough story today, and even in the other subject also somewhat tough. You saw, but I have uh, some extra from your revision, so that's what. I'm happy about that. But here, no option. Uh, the topic says green and lean logistic, and again the customer service as well there. So these are something 3 days we can talk, right? So this is not 3 hours, but many things. So how to integrate all these things into logistic is the important thing. So you should know about the concept first. Uh, there are some uh, concepts going that you find in the current trend, and green and lean is a bit uh, familiar because it is there everywhere. Now it is not a new term, and uh, if you consider those new terms, some of the teams, some of the themes you find agile. Agile is again another term. It is not uh, became into the discussion, but it is there. Agile supply chain, and agile is part of the project management. Agile, so that again something generic term. Green, lean, then agile. Like there are few terms you find in the business lexicon where most of the things came from Japanese as an innovation. So green is very important now, and also we had recently disaster. So you find why that happened, why these kind of disasters you get. 2019 we 2020 we got one COVID, then this is another one, and again after COVID we had that is economic related things. Economically we had some downfall. Then going back 2019 we had the Easter Sunday. Then before 2004, we had tsunami. So these things we never expected, and we have no experience in general life, especially in Sri Lankan context. But when it comes to Japan, you find tsunamis every day. And because of that they know, they are alert, right? So they know how to protect people, and the alarming systems and very fast communication system is there. So in our, when they open the sluice gates in the dam, within 10 minutes they make a siren, and how within 10 minutes people can evacuate, and how long this sound is, what length, what long this sound is, the message is going, and with this latest technological development, and the current level of people, you find how everyone you find a mobile phone, and the messaging is there. So we have to have, we should get use something. Uh, we don't have, even government doesn't have their own messaging something. All the messages comes through some of the private sector channels, even news. So that this is where we need to have centralized system, and something should control by government. Or anyhow, we need to have some communication, right? So these are the results we get. These are the outcome that we get as results of not adhering to the protection of the environment, right? So organizations, then people never care about the environment and the waste. The waste is one of the very critical thing. What you do, what the people used to do, they collect all the waste and take it somewhere and keep it somewhere in the side of the road, and dump it to somewhere in the other. If you find land, unutilized land, then put everything to that, right? That is not, and burning some plastics, because burning plastic is the most dangerous thing. Uh, no one think about, because these are some lack of awareness. Likewise, uh, many factors you find right now when you do your research. You can think on that. These there are enough research. You find enough research. Uh, Only thing, uh, some of the people do research, but after that, no one knows, right? So this is where again lack of some knowledge, and gaps are there. And when you take how many research we do in each university, I just calculated one university, they in their convocations, around 3,000 people, 3,000 students get their masters, right? So per year, which means 3,000 research. Similarly, how many universities we find altogether, the affiliated, more than 350 universities are in Sri Lanka, right? Which is not in the world, I think. So altogether affiliated. So in Sri Lankan business, basically there are two main things that I have observed as per my uh, observation, right? Education and the food business. So these two, even during the period of economic crisis, doing well. So that's what all the universities in the world, you find application in our country, right? So, but the outcome is something zero, right? When you do research, try to implement it, since you all are in the industry somewhere working, right? Not in academics, no. Those who in academics, they can think on how you can apply it to academics to develop the something pedagogy, and the relating things to students. So, and the lack, now uh, when you take the course in the sense, why the gap. The gap is mainly when you find, as you all the professionals, right? You need to have a specific skill in our this is not in the note, but you can have your own writing. We learn three skills under management, right? There are four skills, more than four, but when it comes to professionals, you need to have a specific type of skill. Three skills are basically technical, then interpersonal, and conceptual, right? And what is lacked by the professionals is transferable skill. Transferable skills means you should be able to transfer the knowledge what you develop theories by theories to practice and practice to theory, right? This way and this way both should be able to do. When you think this is, let's say, practice, this is theory, right? So this is what lack in our practice. So when you do masters, you need to develop this from there onward, right? So this is where the philosophy comes, philosophy of the research. So you will get the knowledge on this, but try to understand this is where you need to develop yourself. If you are good on that, we can uh, understand that the professionalism is very good, right? But I haven't come across. There are around 52 professional bodies I find in Sri Lankan context registered under OPA, right? So that means professional bodies are there, and several professionals in that. So how our skills, what extent we have developed the skills. So if we can do, then the implementation will not be a problem. Even the problem identifications are not be the problem. So this is where the green concept comes when people in the in the industries, let's say universities, or people live on the earth. You should know the uh, critical situation of this, right? Otherwise, in future, it will be a big problem, and living could be something problem. Why? Whatever you do, the nature comes against you, right? So nature control everything. So we never had 500 millimeter rainfall, right? So when you take these statistics, 10% of the annual rainfall you got within 24 hours. It never happened, no one thought, right? So we cut trees in mountains, then we make roads, and we cut the embankment and make uh, huge hotels, and we block the river embankment. The all the reservations were taken by people, and even the government support to those things. That is what mainly happened to Kalani River. Likewise, these over the period of time, people very selfish and thought, and no policies as well. So everything put together, and you got this kind of disaster, right? So think on environment and think on the future, the generations, other people, and all about sustainability means future of the other generations, right? They need something. You need to protect. You need to uh, have reserves. When you take the oil, crude oil, petroleum product, all the what do you call the petrol, diesel, and all these things. So fossil fuel, we call fossil fuel. So those limited resources, those are something you get over a period of long period, 2000, 3000 years uh, taken to convert to this process, right? But when you put all the garbage in plastics and all to the ground, and it will that process also will get something disrupt and artificially, and you will not find any more of these non-renewable energy, fossil fuels, right? So that is why trying to introduce or utilize, because the renewable energy is available, no depletion. Depletion is there. Sun also depleting, right? Some percentage depletion is there, the sun. But considering the depletion of the uh, fossil fuel, uh, this part is something less and can usable, right? But there are yet some of the problems, some of the restrictions in storage and use. But when you take the other countries like Chinese, how fast China developed and how they are thinking pattern, people behaviors, so everything contribute to the economic development and innovations, all these things, right? So finally, uh, what as the introductory things about this subject, green, lean, and other one is the customer service. So the people behavior and policies, all these factors, mainly people behavior, the thinking, attitudes, cultures, and political the strong policies. Policies should not change whatever government comes, right? So it should be sustainable. When you take the China, how they have started this green BRI, Belt Road Initiative, somewhere long ago, right? 100, 200 years ago. It came as Silk Route. So later on, some 2010, somewhere they changed the name as a BRI, right? And uh, thinking on logistics, they have developed a train track to China to German, passing around 5, 6 countries. Only 22 days they used to travel, and that is as part of the logistic to transport the goods. If you use somewhere sea route, the sea mode, it takes something 3 months, and how many fuel, how many uh, what is the pollution you get from the burning or the fuel is very high, right? Comparing those factors, and even the countries, Russia and another few countries also agreed, but no transportation of people up to now, only goods. So, what is capitalism and industry revolution? Then, triple bottom line in sustainability. We need to talk on a theory in this sustainability. Sustainability you can derive in a different way, right? But the important is sustainability through a proper culture, or considering the factors of 3 Ps. And why we consider those 3 things, considering the people in future, right? And we'll just talk about some green effect, what is green effect and what is importance of knowing this, and lean in the other side, lean practices, right? Lean means it's a uh, broader subject, even green also broader subject, uh, and other thing, customer service. I'm trying to get only the essence of that, and just to give you some sort of awareness on that, and how we connect it to the logistic, right? What is logistic? Logistic, where these things are involving, and we can't take only logistic here and talk about the green, lean, and customer service, but you need to connect it, right? I will try to give you some connectivity to these things. But when you learn what is green, what is lean, and customer support, then you think about the process of logistic, and what is the process logistic. Now, when you take the uh, supply chain process, right? Supply chain is a broader aspect, from cradle to grave, some dust to dust, as we discuss, from supplier to customer. All the activities comes under supply chain, right? You can now you should be able to demarcate these concepts, from where the supplier involved, and from supplier to up to where the sourcing comes and procurement comes, then from where to where the logistic comes, from where to where the inventory comes, and inventory to then operations to again inventory, and inventory to supplier, the customer, and from customer onward, what is required, customer relationship. Then the other side, you find supplier to onward, but you need to have supplier relationship, right? So this is the chain. So you should be good on uh, understanding uh, the boundaries, right? From where to where the procurement involved or sourcing involved, right? This is yet confused in our context. I see a lot of subjects, lot of people. They introduce their subjects on logistic and procurement, or logistic and supply chain, procurement and supply chain. In this course also, you find a master in procurement, public procurement in supply chain, likewise, right? So why these things are there? Because people aware basically logistic. Some people think the logistic is the main concept. So supply chain is, even I had to argue to convince uh, some of the basically university lecturers, and not from the industry. So I had to argue, even getting down some foreigners from the IFPSM, International Federation of Supply Chain. So this is the supply chain, this is the logistic, right? This is the procurement. So yet logistic and supply chain, procurement and supply chain, these things are yet connected, yet no understanding with the people, and yet this subject is at the nascent stage, right? So the future is with supply chain. So all the other things will comes under supply chain. So if you know supply chain properly, you can play nice role in the industry in future. So that is the trend you find. But we are yet lagging when it comes to China and the other countries. They are far ahead, right? So so you need to incorporate this green, agile, and lean, right? Green means you are focusing on environment, mainly environment, right? You are trying to reduce the pollution and your waste and all the uh, pollution or the environment damaging uh, parts you are trying to reduce, and you are trying to protect the environment. Then lean again focusing more on uh, environment, but that focus again another area, your waste, right? Waste is going to pollute the environment, and waste is uh, going to make a damage to your profit as well, right? So in previous situation, what we were talking all quality, we try to improve quality. When you improve quality of the production, then you reduce your waste, right? So that was the concept. Try to develop a lot of uh, quality factors, introducing systems, ISO systems, then introducing quality circles, likewise having awareness, then a lot of things. But finally, it didn't work as expected. Why? There are some inherent things in you. Now, I was in ceramics. We got all the soil, all the earth material as raw material, and the consistency is not as expected, right? So getting quality yield improvement is very difficult. There are some inherent things you find in quality, right? So around 75, 80 is the level of quality what you find. And ceramic needs the environmental ambient temperature and the humidity factors is one of the very crucial thing. The humidity should be less in our ambient air, right? But in our system, it is not that. Around 65, 70% humidity is there. When you find some of the countries, Italy and China in Poshan and Beijing, you find the humidity levels are very low, right? So that is one factor. So we need to have trade-off. We need to balance both and do the business. So there you find some uncontrollable quality, right? So then the concept of lean evolve, and even Six Sigma evolve. So Six Sigma tries in a different approach, right? Lean tries in a different approach. So green is for another approach. Then Agile again introduce, Agile also evolve and having another approach, right? Likewise, different approaches are getting you in order to, the objective is same, right? What is the objective we have? The objective is same, to get 100%. Even circular economy is also talking the same, right? Circular economy talks no waste. When you adapt circular economy concept in your process, which means you don't have waste, right? So no waste. We don't want to think on what action to be take on e-waste, and on top of that you find now another waste, batteries, EV, electric vehicle battery. Those who purchase these type of vehicles now find, and luckily in Sri Lanka we don't have because we don't have anything here, no policies. Whatever the things introduced and get you at a low price, we get it and sell it at high price, right? That is what we do. We are trying to earn, however, the money, and that is the main objectives that we have, right? So these things now becoming something very critical, and all the objectives of the all the concepts is same, right? Finally, You need to protect your environment. You need to protect uh, the without having the pollutions, protect the uh, environment, and have some very user friendly environment likewise, and need to have profit as well, right? So all these things should be looked on here, and the people factor. Three P's you have to keep in your mind all the time relating to the sustainable development, right? Then people factor. When it comes to people factor, you can see the projections, see the forecast in people factor. What is the forecast here? The number of people in the world. They expected 8 billion in 2020, but it came, they were able to reach it somewhere 2022, 2 years uh, delay was there in these projections, and expect 2050 something 10 billion people in the world. But mainly what I see as per my understanding, uh, this is this is controlled by the nature, right? The COVID, you got 4 million people lost, and different disasters, different even war you get in some of the countries, but you develop, what you earn for a period of time, lost within overnight, right? The same thing we had in this recent disaster, around 700 people lost, right? 600 something, and missing are also yet, I think, 100, above 100. So uh, roughly 800 people. Actually, the country, when we had war with 30,000, around 30,000 people lost. So these things created by the nature, time to time created by the nature. So you need to how to live in the nature. Mainly, you need to protect the nature. You need to uh, think on nature and try to grow trees and maintain. But that's also not easy. Now you find the houses, 10 perch land is there, and everywhere trying to build house. And uh, when you take Chinese, they have good policy on this. They are not like this, right? They have policy on this. They are not allowing people to uh, use the lands and have their own uh, houses. They have a different policy called megapolis, and under megapolis project, even Sri Lanka also started it, that in allow the government, once the government change, uh, everything change, right? Different governments come, and different policies they have. So trying to do, the other government did, this government not take it to care. So this is where we are going ahead, right? But understand there is some blessing. So that's what we are yet in this way. So if we can, we have yet we have time to take decision, and we can develop that potential is there. We The resources are there. A lot of resources are there. So all the countries, now you can remember with this disaster, how many countries helped us? A lot of countries, right? That means they are mainly they keep an eye on this country. There is some reason, right? So there is some reason which we have not identified in what to be done on that, right? Why so many countries came and help us, which means they aware us, They know us, and something we have interest for them. So this is the scenario basically. And when it comes to subject, this is important you to understand the increase of people in the world, right? But there is no resources for this increase of people. The resources are depleting. We have limited resources, and capitalism is one of the main change we had recently, because focusing on profit oriented economy, right? And economy and political system in which the country's trade and industries are controlled by private owners for profit rather than by state. This is why the government says that we are not going to do business. So the business is fully given to the private sector, and luckily the private sector is there in the country. And however, these people make noise and try to take their private sector, their businesses continuous. And recently, you found the uh, tariff, this U.S. tariff, right? So. Uh, and if you are strategically fit on your business, definitely those are not big problems, right? If you are focusing on strategic management and run your business, so those are not a problem. Even that didn't make any sense. Basically, even I checked it when I do the interviews of the National Supply Chain Excellence Award with the multinational companies. They have basically they have something very uh, easy understanding. They know how to balance the cost, right? This is costing is very important and very nice subject. And strategic management, strategic approach, again a nice thing, very important thing, which is required to adapt whatever you do, even your life planning as well, right? So luckily the private sector is there, even though we say that this is part of the environmental pollution and all these things. So what is capitalism? And the main part of the capitalism is profit motives and private property right, consumer sovereignty, freedom of enterprise, competition, and income inequality, right? We say it, but we are trying to get the get some of the portion from these people and give it to the poor people, keeping the poor people as poor, right? Why? When you keep these poor people poor, then it is good for getting more votes, right? So more votes you find in the bottom of the pyramid, right? So you can see the Maslow's hierarchy like this. So use this Maslow's hierarchy wherever possible. This is what I am going to tell you, the transferable skill, right? Transferable skill. The Maslow's hierarchy can be used for politics. Maslow's hierarchy can be used for marketing. I'll get this part again in another area. I'll come to that later. And Maslow's hierarchy can be used to develop entrepreneurship and marketing entrepreneurship, and also where it generated to develop the motivation, psychological factors of people, right? You need basic needs. This is called need theory in economics. And basic needs, safety needs. Likewise, there are different needs in your life: self-esteem, then self-actualization, And further from here onward, also you get something, I can't remember the word, something transcendental needs from here onward, right? The Maslow's hierarchy. Yeah, you can study very well this. I don't have much time to explain you the other areas where you find this, and I'll get into this when I teach you the value disciplinary. Uh, the and where you find the more vote is in this, right? So keeping people poor all the time, giving uh, free things, you can get more vote, same as no vote, right? Both. So the risk is also there. So this is where the supply chain, the industry revolution we talk first, second, third, fourth, and fifth is going to come, and all these uh, things in a different era. When you take the time durations, you can see somewhere from first to second, somewhere 100 years, something less here, 80 and 50. Now, between fourth and fifth, it is around 20 years, right? So, likewise, this revolutions is also going to be uh, something different, and fast revolutions you find because of the development of the technology. And yet we are not in some predictable matter on this technological development. What I see, we are trying to get used to the systems, more technological systems, AI. Now AI is there, you get used to it and do your assignments and research everything, right? Then what for your brain? So when you take the whatever religion says, the religions, whatever religions you find, they say to develop your brain, right? That is the human requirement. Now we are going against to that, right? That also could be something a factor in this sustainability again, right? So, and the main concept here, what I find in fifth, is mass customization, right? We talk about customization when it comes to operation management. It is difficult. There is a concept called 4V: variance, volume, uh, varieties, visibilities, right? And variance and uh, two things, varieties and volume. Varieties and volume, that's a continuum. You find variety here, volume here, right? This is continuum. Continuum means when you now take a production as example, you can make more varieties, but less volume, right? Here you can have more volume, but less varieties, right? Take volume business like the continuous operations in different refineries, glass industry, ceramic industry, those continuous improvement, those not the batch production, those are continuous processes. You need to feed from this side the raw material, then different processes are going through, mix it, dry it, spray dry it, then press it, then fire it. Likewise, different processes, finally you get the product, right? Volume per day, 4,000, 6,000, 10,000 volume, right? Even there is another in car assembling that is called process. Repetitive process. You do assembling somewhere only 60 minutes get a car to be assembled, right? 120 cars or SUVs I saw in one company they assemble in their working hours per day, right? So likewise, that is the even if you can visit BYD, Ceres, or even Toyota, you can see how fast timing is there, set time, right? 99% overall equipment efficiency and no waste, no breakdowns. There are, they call six big losses. In your process, you can be only six big losses, right? So just type six big losses, you will find reduction speed in quality breakdowns, then raw material issues or changeovers. Likewise, there are they have categorized to the breakdowns, or they categorize all the lost time into six areas as big losses, and they control it. There are raw materials and machineries and maintenance, preventive and corrective maintenance, everything implemented and adjusted all these things to be perfect, then no stoppage, and the efficiencies are 100%, right? So their expected production is there. Then they get volume, not varieties. If you want to get variety, then you have to have another line, different line, right? So what they do, uh, they are trying to go for the mass customization, right? They change now some of the cars, Toyota, they are manufactured in Malaysia, some of the cars in Indonesia, and some like Lexus, they use in Japan. Likewise, different varieties they produced in different countries using the benefit of the country's benefits, their specific raw material requirement and closeness to the logistics. All these things considering, you know very well how you can set up your distributors. There are theories called center of gravity theory, and some you can do fixed cost analysis. Likewise, so they use those and develop they are trying to set up their businesses to get the mass customization. And even I have seen in Sri Lankan garment sector also doing this, especially the MAs they do, and do the use the strategy of outsourcing. They try to outsource. Even Unilever, they do outsourcing and try to get the variety and volume together, right? Which is something difficult, but they try to do it using these supply chain strategies, right? This is what you need to use in your operation development. Think on strategies and use it. This is where the again transferable skills come into play with your process. So capitalism is one of the main concept which we find nowadays, and basically it focus on profit. And when it comes to profit, when focus on profit, you forget how you maintain the environment and ethical practices. Most of Sri Lankan businesses, you find this issue, ethical practices, they are not following ethical practices. That is why the rules and regulations are important. And the social impact. So everything considering, they identified the economics prosperity and environmental quality and social justice. So we can put these things into very easy understanding terms: people, planet, and economy. Or we call people, planet, and profit. 3 Ps. So there is a book, very interesting book. You can read this concept, cannibals by cannibals with pork. So developed in 21st triple bottom line of 21st century business. So this is where we are going to end if we don't do anything on protecting the environment, right? So then ESG is there. ESG concepts is again the same thing when you take the main areas, economic and the environment and social and the governance. ESG, how we maintain these the required objectives, and even the SGD, sustainable goals. There are again another introduce the UN, and which they are going to achieve in 2030. There are 17 goals, and that's also going on in Sri Lanka. It is not there, even they don't know. But India is trying because the main, when you take the countries like India and China, they get high population, around 1.4 billion people. China was at the top. Right now, India is at the top. So time to time, with a very small difference, they are becoming one and two. So China and India, because of the populations, they violate a lot of these rules. And China violated at the beginning to set up, even in that is normal, right? When you take the industry start with the SMEs, small and medium scale industry. So then medium, after that only they become large. When they become large, they are something sustainable, like they have developed and position. So profit is there. They know the profit is there. They can invest some amount of the profit. They can invest. They have money. So you should have money at least. First, you need to going through the Maslow's hierarchy again. First, you need to survive, right? You need some basic needs. So this is what trying all the people. They never think on environment. They never think on the other factors, other effect, the economic, people and planet. You first need to survive, right? Especially around basically out of all the even the contribution to GDP is high, from around 42 or 55. Contribution come from SMEs for the GDP, and basically those are the companies grow and become large scale. When you take the large scale companies, Haley's, John Case, whatever company, they started somewhere very small level, right? 100 years or 50 years. Likewise, very recently, uh, those companies developed, and we need to develop the SMEs. When the issue here, when you develop SMEs, you need to sacrifice the factors, social and economical factors. You have to sacrifice, right? This is why China, when they were developing, they had to sacrifice. They were never thought about all these green concepts and all these things. You can remember how the Beijing was. Beijing is the highest pollution city, right? Later on, once they come into a level of stable, then they shifted uh, all these factories, all the companies make pollution. especially the companies in China, they use coal. They have coal, and the cost of fuel is less on that. So coal is not a good in the sense efficient fuel. Coal has a lot of impurities, but economically it is worth. So those are the things. Even in Sri Lankan, when you take the pollution contributors, main contributor is the Norachole plant, right? So it make 900 megawatt. So something around 80% of the demand, in around 50-60% of the demand, right? When Norachole get some breakdowns, you find we have to go for a power cut, right? That is what we depend on that. So the option what we have, the solar, only thing, solar we have technical problem. It is available only during the daytime. So companies, the high consumption comes in the evening. So 6 to 10 peak hours. So these kind of things available, and uh, otherwise the pollution contributor, we were somewhere very low level of pollution contribution uh, compared to the other countries. So environment and economy and society, there are some important areas, especially mentioned: climate changes, air pollution, noise pollution, land use and biodiversity, and waste management. So whatever thing you do, you are trying to contribute to this one of the pollution creators, right? And growth is same. You when you try to growth again, you need to sacrifice some of the things. So economy, economic under economic jobs and prosperity, fair pricing, competitiveness, choice, then society, safety, health, disturbance, access, equity. Uh, then I'll come again later on the green side. And this is just to have you the demarcation, the boundaries of the logistic, right? And you mainly become some confusions, right? So, why people try to make different interpretations in these? What is logistic? What is procurement? Uh, then, what is inventory? Mainly the logistic and procurement, you find some confusions, and purchasing and procurement. And then logistic is term widely used to describe the transport, storage, and handling. Then again, part of the inventory is in this, right? Storage and handling. And now you know the 3PL, third party logistic. You can understand what they do. Third party logistic, transport, storage, handling of product as they move from raw material source through the production system to their final point of sale or consumption. Then how the green lean contribute to this? What are the areas that you can think on this green lean? Freight accounted for roughly 43% of all energy, right? Sea freight is very high contributor to the pollution. And now Nike, they have taken policy. They have a policy on uh, on uh, on this air freight. They don't use this air freight. And some of the companies, they have strong policy not to air freight some of the material, right? I remember uh, basically what we do when we get shortages of some of the raw material. What we do, we just call for quotations, and we ask air freight prices, right? We know within 2 3 days we can get it. When you use the uh, sea freight, it will take somewhere 2 months, 3 months. So dependency on the requirement, urgency, we try to use different modes. So the contributor is high, right? So air freight, the moment of freight, this is not specifying for air or sea anyhow, it contribute 43, and air freight is the highest contributor. So that is why the companies, I got to know Nike. Nike never use air freight, and they have taken from their side, but that's only one company, but the other companies are uh, there, right? So all need to do, and some of the concepts you find in related to this as well, right? The carbon footprints are there. So you need to focus on footprints, right? Later we'll discuss. Then share approximately 10% of energy-related CO2 emission worldwide, inclusion warehousing and material handling. You use forklift and transport lorries and all these things, and that also contribute. That is part of logistic. Logistic activities accounts for roughly 5.5% of total global greenhouse emission, including GHGs, greenhouse gas such as methane, nitrous oxide, uh, and more is carbon dioxide. Then logistic buildings emits 9 to 10% of the total, with rest coming from freight transport, trucks, vans, are responsible for two-thirds of these transport. Uh, so taking into the process value chain, starting from supplier, you can see different activities: procurement, and green manufacturing, and green distribution. So these are the activities where you can use this green concept. Uh, Having a study on which area, like transport, then green is not only transport, right? Even paperless, without using paper. Paper means make paper, you have to cut trees. So when you even especially this what you use, these papers, serviette papers, and how many trees you have to cut on making those papers, but we use all the time uh, the serviette papers and all, uh, which you can control, use. And when it comes to green is not only the pollution coming from burning fuels, right? So it can be noise, and your practices, your use of paper. Likewise, many areas you have to even burning using air conditions. So finally, everything leads to uh, generate electricity or create some waste, where the waste will accumulate, and it will be on the ground. You need to do something to dispose it, and use of electricity or use of energy. Again, it need to generate. So generation will use used to burn fuel. Likewise, the connection is there. Whatever action you taken, only thing you need to uh, minimize minimize it. You can understand where it create, and the waste need to be reduce. So, and the value addition should be high, and make the value addition high. Then we'll discuss later on through the value addition through the lean concept. So this is the basically process. And uh, uh, the circular economy, again, another concept. You will get it later on. Reverse logistic. When you get the reverse logistics, you can connect your end product, and there won't be any waste, but you are responsible. That is the important thing when it comes to use of reverse logistic or circular economy. Definitely this practice, this requirement will be there, will introduce by the world. Uh, there are different bodies. They control these policies and all these things. And you can remember earlier there was a problem when you use the R12 gas in your refrigerators, which is contributing to deplete the ozone layer, ozone layer, right? So later decision taken and removed R12 with freon gas in your refrigerators. Somewhere they set up 2000 specific year. Then with that, the usage, uh, they stopped the use of R12. And some of the countries, they have taken policy decision not to use this asbestos. Asbestos is again another carcinogenic material, and not to use the PVC, polyvinyl chloride. Most of the countries, they never use PVC, but we use. So whatever we use, yet not no restriction on that. Even the lead-free, sulfur-free, uh, all the fuels, because lead is very important item. Everywhere you find, especially the pigment, right? When you have lead in your pigment, you get very nice colors. Uh, it is one of the uh, contributing factor in having nice, prominent, and shiny colors, right? But uh, thing is, when you use it, then it is not good for people health, and cancerous materials are there. Then same thing, the sulfur, and the earlier in previous all the material diesel especially, you find some amount of sulfur, yet it is available. You can't, I think the sulfur free, you can't get it. So these controls is required. So when use these materials, they'll make some contribution to the different bad effect, and it can affect to the uh, human survival. So the circular economy is forward logistic and reverse logistic, right? And which is more focused on green, lean, and the responsibility again comes to the uh, producer, manufacturer. So it's a cycle, and it's a circle, right? So get it, once the uh, use is finished, life cycle of the product is finished, it should come through collection, it should come to uh, recycle or reuse. So that is where there you can stop the waste. So prior to 1980, companies, the environment, as I said you, the Chinese recently also they were in the, yet some of the companies from when you go to countryside, you can see they use this, they never care about the environmental pollutions. And India somewhat, China is better, India is something yet recovering, they're trying to introduce, but the culture and the some extremist in religion. So mainly India, the development is controlled by this religion activities. China is fast. I asked this question from Chinese, then they said we don't have religion. So there's no religion in China. Mainly different religions are there, but like other countries, there is no specific religion. So, and some of the policies, I like most of the things. No private owned land and all government owned land, and development is very easy, but contributing to the pollution is very high. And the megapolis is very, again, another important thing. So they are trying to get 70% of the people to cities, and all the other lands in the country, they are trying to take it to the farming, and because they need food. Uh, there's a requirement, high consumption in food, and also the population is very high. That is the main reason. And before 1980,
Sir, excuse me, sir.
yes.
Yes, regarding China, that China has own environmental policy for their country,
Hmm.
but when it comes to their trading policy, but
Hmm.
they don't apply that for the globe, right?
Hmm.
That because of that, in our market also we can see a lot of cheap
Yes,
products,
yes,
low
yeah.
quality products,
Hmm.
right? If China is trying to develop on good policy for environment within country, but they are not doing it for globe.
Yeah, yes.
It, it is
Hmm.
questionable, but no
Hmm.
one is considering no arguing on
Hmm.
that.
Yeah, they have actually they are trying to dominate. So that is what they are doing. There are concepts when you go through what they are trying to do. They call they are at the center of the world and cynocentric. This is the concept, cynocentric, and from their center to they are trying to develop like a logistic hub and center of the earth, center of the world, and from there I have all the map. I went to this place, 0 kilometer point in Chongqing, and from there only they are starting. Even Sri Lanka is also in a corner. The Hambantota port, why they bought it. We are in one of the corner as a they use it as a logistic hub and doing it. They have a very robust plan, and they, as you said, yes, they can think on all these other things. Even you can remember those days when we called Chinese Taiwan, quality-wise, somewhere very low, but volume-wise very high. Different strategy they use in achieving their objectives. That is the most important thing. And also you don't find the Google and this platform in China, because again they wanted to retain their data within them. Now, where our data is in USA, right? Now, you used to have cloud. This is very famous, no? We try to save our data. Those days, we save our data with our servers. Now, with the cloud systems, we use it is very effective, and we put everything to cloud, right? Where is this cloud? Cloud is in USA. So they can shut the entire world uh, within a very easy format. But China didn't agree to that. So that is the main reason they don't have the Google. They develop their own, right? So what we can see, different strategies used by the different companies, but these people, they have something very robust strategic plan, and they are working on. Even the people is also, they are not all the time with the tagline like the Indian users, be Indian, use Indian product. But Chinese never say that. But it's in their blood. So all the people, they are working. Actually, the working is very important. But when it comes to pollution and all these things, at the stage of before 1980, even 90, even yet now also you find it uh, used ad hoc. And the international standard like ISO 14000, again, it introduced uh, by some of the, this is earlier, there were British standard and all. Now the ISO systems uh, became very popular, and all over the world they use this where to control this environmental emissions. And many projects going on like carbon footprint, carbon credit. Likewise, in order to control the pollutions, and some of the countries they wanted to have pollution, but with the internal controls they are unable to do it. So taking the global as one unit, what they have introduced, let's say they can buy our Singaraja and calculate what is the amount of carbon dioxide absorbed by the Singaraja, then they can emit, they can have a factory in their country, and they balance it, right? So this kind of concepts is also going on because the capitalism is one of the uh, important nowadays. You can see uh, different type of organizations use different type of capacities and multinationals, then different countries. You can see even a lot of concepts with the technology. The world is not that long, so very short. Many concepts in logistics, I find many concepts used in making things easy. So assessing external impact relating to logistics, there are many things, right? So transport, even handling material, uh, management process, likewise, all everywhere you find different and making noises. Logistic is responsible for a variety of externalities, including air pollution, noise accidents, vibration, land uh, land take, and visual intrusions. Many things you get. Why we need to learn this subject and incorporate this subject into logistic is to understand and control the mainly the pollution contributors. Any question or any comment? And freight, again, another thing which we never considered, the freight uh, transport. And freight transport is the main things. Actually, if you can reduce freight transport, you are going to contribute something a lot to the uh, environmental pollutions. And atmospheric emissions, combustion is not complete. Tailpipe emissions of pollution such as hydrocarbon and carbon monoxides and nitrogen oxide. Uh, Mainly the carbon monoxide that is partially burn fuel. So that is now somewhat controlled in Sri Lankan context with the test. You can't get your revenue license without the test, your smoke test. And diesel and petrol have a slightly different environmental impact as they are mix of pollutant emission various. Earlier we had, you can remember, two-stroke three-wheelers. Now we don't have two-stroke. Four-stroke. Four-stroke is better combustion, but efficiency-wise, there was a difference in two-stroke. And yeah, when it comes to petrol and diesel, diesel is better than petrol. So diesel get CO2, but petrol get something other also. Then noise pollution, vibration, traffic get two vibration, airborne and groundborne. Then congestions. In Sri Lankan, we have these congestions, and this will be a big issue in future, right? When you go through the private vehicles, the statistics shows something exponential increase like this, right? This is called exponential increase, e to the power x. Uh, you get exponential increase in private own vehicles, right? That is why the traffic congestions you find in Colombo. Not only Colombo, even the other uh, areas, mainly cities. You get, and Kandy is the highest pollution city, and yet uh, only research, right? So research reveals that those pollutions are very high in which why mainly from the vehicles, and in the other side the private owned vehicles also going to increase. What is your suggestion on this? How we can tackle this? Any idea?
You mean to
No.
reduce the private owned vehicles?
Yes, how we do it?
Strength, we have to strengthen public transport.
Oh yeah, public transport. In which transport?
Train.
But our people never understand it. That is the issue. Recently, there was a discussion. I also were there. One of the railway department general manager and another university, Morato University uh, professor came there. And actually, the research they show this uh, private owned vehicle is huge. There's a exponential increase, right? Then, but what railway says the cost is very high, and their cost is very high, right? So the solutions what they ask, what they told to increase the tax of the private vehicle. Oh, those are the actually what they. I don't know based on what they said it, but uh, unacceptable thing when considered to other countries. I saw in Japan there are 5 lines in underground trains, subways. So 5 lines going on underground. and majorities use the public transport train system. And now recently I saw one train developed by Japanese, something at a speed of 1300 kilometers per hour, and Chinese, they have introduced 300 kilometers per hour. I have uh, gone in that, so you must have good experience on that. So uh, that is where they use even the monorail what we were trying to get here again, uh, stopped, and there was a good benefit, 40 years uh, grace period given for that. And having mono rail, at least monorail, even India, they didn't have anything. They had only this, but now when you go to India, you can see this train system, the uh, metropolitan train systems, monorails, and all the even electric trains they are using. So our people, I don't know, but this is what. Otherwise, what you need to do, you need to expand the road all the time, right? It will be something never-ending process. Otherwise, some other strategy, kind of strategy, may have to take. So the accidents, then use of land and biodiversity, these are usually waste and visual intrusions. So uh, these activities going to contribute to the noise pollution, and noise pollution is again
Excuse
another.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, regarding that increase in number of vehicles, that yeah, it is directly uh, that it is the cause of co-pollution. But when we take developed countries, even in Malaysia also, we should have a private vehicle. Otherwise, we can't access any place.
Hmm.
Then,
Okay.
uh, uh, but I think if we take that developed country, their vehicle conditions and the condition of fuel are somewhat good than what we are using. But
How is the
I
time
where
conditions, the traffic?
you mean that Western countries?
Yeah. Malaysia,
Yeah,
how is the time?
Malaysia
The-
so that
No,
it
no
is.
traffic jam?
Yeah, when I was there, I didn't experience such big traffic.
Hmm. Yeah, mainly uh, now you can have private vehicle, and you can control emission having standard very high efficient vehicle. That is okay. Yeah, yes. That is why we are also now trying with electric vehicle. Then no pollution, right? That is one option. The other thing is the traffic jam. Uh, some of the congested now road, if you want to go to Colombo in morning hours, you have to have additional 1 hour or 1.5 hours, right? So additional, your standard time is 1 hour, let's say, but another 1.5 hours you need to keep for traffic jam, right? That is where you, and the traffic jam is now uh, our situation. From where the traffic jam comes, the police come into the system, and
Yes,
they are trying to control it, right? This is where I have never seen this police come and control traffic, uh, even having lights, right? What they can do. This is where lack of must be focused on AI, lack of use of mind, right? If you have a light system, you would have improve it, right? To install a light system, mainly I know University of Moratuwa, they use a lot of studies, and now the analytics is very powerful in our country, right? A lot of softwares we use, Python, R, in vivo, all these softwares we used in analytics, and people also very we find expert young crowd. So some algorithms you need to introduce some algorithm, right? So we have 22 million, China 1.4 billion, India 1.4 billion. They do nicely. No police in their, they are not switch off the uh, traffic lights, right? And why we use traffic lights? Because we could not control it. Then why we switch off it and try to manage? We would have improved the system and try to give it to the system to handle it. Then these people can do some other things. How many people come and try to control? This is one reason we get traffic jam. Another thing, actually, but most important thing, you can reduce number of vehicle use if we have a good good something public transport, and also the parking issue, right? We don't like to use a vehicle in Colombo, mainly the parking issues. No place. If you have something, we started actually park and drive the concept. You can park your car in somewhere Homagama, and then you can use the transport system. These concepts came actually, but not continue the that is why we stuck when the government change, the things also getting change. Basically, the standard and measuring impact. There are some standard Euro emission standard, then Euro sulfur directives, then EMS environmental management system ISO 14000. Likewise, different standards, regulatory and statutory and regulatory measures are there in order to control these emissions and all the practices, the waste and all these things. And then we can just go through the greenhouse gas concept. How the greenhouse gas means CO2 and the other gases in the atmosphere. Mainly, you get the this heat waves from sun, and then the earth absorb the heat waves and radiate some of the amount, and uh, there you find the change in the wavelength, right? The long wave and short wave. So when the absorbs and emit, the emission, the radiations change the wavelengths. So the ozone layer is not permitting to reflect or going back some of the rays due to the change of the wavelength. So same concept is used in glass. You use some of the solar heaters. Solar heaters also you use this concept, right? So some of the waves trap uh, within this area, and again CO2 is making some heat. So with the heat, the temperature of the ambient air increase, and when the temperature increase, then ice try to melt, and with that the water level will rise. So this is the basic concept you find in this, and the same scenario, same concept is used in your solar heaters. Solar, you use a glass, right? So you can remember when you park your vehicle somewhere uh, in outside where the sunlight is there, and somewhere 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, you can, if you want to get into the vehicle, see how inside is very warm. So that is where the trap the heat. So glass become a heat trapper. So when heat enters through the glass, and there will be a change in the wavelength, right? So when the wavelength change, heat is not able to go back, then the heat will trap within uh, inside your vehicle, or inside somewhere in the solar heater, and that heat is used to heat the water, right? So heat the water and stock it in a tank. So this is the concept used in the solar heaters, and same thing you find in the greenhouse gas as well. Because of this ozone layer, you find some of the heat traps. And again, the CO2 is there within the environment, and when the CO2 increase, then the temperature is again going to increase. The release of carbon dioxide and methane, and not only carbon dioxide, like GHG is methane also, right? Methane comes from the farming. That is again another high portion you find in the methane gas as well. We will come to that. So, release of carbon dioxide and methane gas through energy use causes an increase in greenhouse gas in the atmosphere. It is caused by the sun ray entering the atmosphere and heat from the rays being trapped by carbon dioxide and methane. We need some greenhouse gases to keep the earth warm, but we have upset the balance. The average temperature of our planet is rising. So we need to balance it. Who make the balance? Mainly the trees will make the balance. They absorb with the photosynthesis, they absorb the CO2 and emit oxygen. When you cut tree, at least in your life, you can count how many trees you planted, right? I have done a lot. I'm happy about that. So I'm with the nature. So think on that, how many trees you plant. And I remember when I was in ceramic, uh, there was a factory manager. We were small at that time. So one person was there. He loved to have more trees, and why this industry is something highly uh, polluting the environment with the noise, right? With the people around, most of the time complain. High noise, uh, around 100 decibels, you find near some of the machineries. So more than basically 100 is maximum. 80, 80 to 100. So noise is, the sound is very high. And one factory manager had the concept to uh, have a green belt where we can control the noise uh, transmissions, right? We can control when we have the green belt. So he used to grow a lot of trees and make the environment green, and a lot of trees were there, and wanted to make this green belt and where to retain all the noise without going into the outside. Then unfortunately he left. Then another one came. He told business is business, so you need to cut all the trees and make buildings. Used to do that and made building everywhere. So finally uh, the complaints started coming more noise, and in the dust is again another thing. Likewise, when you make everywhere, and the heat, again, the heat is also very high. So different concept, different people. Anyway, just try to remember and try to count how many trees you planted in your life, right? So that is one of the KPI you have to have as a personal uh, to contribute to the environment, right? So the main contributors to the pollution, coal is one, coal is available. Only thing, coal is not efficient and cost is low. When you compare the energy, the heating value of the coal is very low, right? The gas is very high and efficient. And gas also you find different versions, different mixes, like natural gas. Natural gas somewhat efficiency is low, but the other purified gas is good, and you use it your cooking purposes as well. So it is something clean. We call it clean gas, and the oil is the other side. And oil, there are different types of oil you find which separate from the refineries, and these things you find somewhat contributors to the environmental pollution through industry. So that is why the mainly, so when you use these fuels to your operations, it make something to pollute the environment. So that is why the fuel different to classify in a different way, like renewable and non-renewable, right? So these coal, gas, oil, all these things we call fossil fuel. We call those non-renewable, right? It will not renew. So better to control use. Then you can save it for future generations, future people. Try to use more on renewable energy, renewable type of energy, uh, like solar, wind, then hydro, and even tidal is used. Tidal you get from the sea. Tidal waves is used to generate energy, electricity, and solar, then hydro is used. Only thing, the storing. Solar, you have to maximize around 6 hours. You find in Sri Lankan context, because we are tropical, in the tropical area, tropical country, and 6 hours you can utilize good solar. There's a good potential and effective and worth. Only thing, the investment on solar. Early, there was something, 1 kilowatt cost 1 million early with the batteries. Now, with the latest system, they use grid connectors. Then the battery cost reduced. It dropped to around 600. Only thing now, it is very high because of the uh, taxes. And the other side, the electricity board is not willing to this because of the some tariff rates, and there are some issues on that, so they're reluctant to introduce. And again, another thing is balancing, the grid balancing. They don't have technology to balance the grid. This is why recently we had a blackout. Not recent, somewhere 2 years back, we had a blackout. Finally, Monkey was the culprit on that. So that because of the technical issues. And The other thing is the contributor to the greenhouse gas farming. Farming is another way greenhouse gases are added to the atmosphere. Cow, sheep produce methane, which is released to the air, and the land needed to product cow, sheep, and pigs is far greater than the land needed to grow plant proteins, which in planting forest that would draw in and store carbon dioxide. So this is again another thing which is not highlighted, right? No one thinks on that. We all the time try to point out the pollution contributors as the fuel. And landfill is again another, because you are going to pollute the soil. 22 billion disposal wrappers in landfill per year, 100 million cell phones put out of service per year, 2 million tons of e-product disposed per year, 63 million computers in the US become obsolete in 2005. Circuit boards, lead, cadmium, then flat screen and switches, mercury. This is again a mercury. You find mercury in tube fluorescent lights. So this is something old numbers. If you go through with the latest numbers, you will see number one could be the electric vehicle battery. And the e-waste, electronic waste is one of the biggest problem. So the electric and electronic waste. Law in 2005, EU authorities introduced legislation for free back trade back of waste goods. So uh, probably this will imposed like the UN, United Nations, the bodies, some of the bodies consider on this the something pollutions or the waste, probably introduce this circular economy. And now most of the even Europe, the new generations, they focus on green. uh, they are trying to pay even additional amount for the product and use green. In Sri Lanka and also you find organic food, so you pay high amount and buy those organic food, but only thing the assurance our people the ethical contribution. Most of the Sri Lankan business you find unethical practices, right? So unethical practices, they will give you saying like this is organic, but the mainly it is not organic, right? So how to ensure it? That is the problem. But when it comes to US, they used to pay even the garment factories. Some of the garment factories in Sri Lanka, they try to use even using solar. Now, majority of the factories they have installed solar on their roof. Why? The roof is just uh, something you don't earn, right? Roof is there you to get the protection and get the covering, so you can use it. Only thing the strength to have solar. Uh, Otherwise, you can use whatever. Now the solar things are, I think, controlled because it get overloaded in the sense it is not in the manageable level, but people willing to invest on solar, right? So even you can recover it and you can save your electricity use. And also in Sri Lankan context, the reliability of the electricity supply, it is not uh, as you require, because when you start your supply chain, you start with the monopoly and the oligopoly, right? This is where the economy. So when you find a monopoly business, uh, you can take decisions, whatever decision, need no competitors. And when it comes to the complexity, the cycle of this environment, mainly we talk four things: lithosphere, hydrosphere, and biosphere, and atmosphere. Lithosphere means soil, rock. Then hydrosphere is water. Biosphere is the living organisms, and air sphere, air, the ambient air, and these four things you find get polluted, right? So pollution is there. How you control it? How you manage the lithosphere, your waste? You can see what waste you find in now after this disaster, the flood, all the houses. You got a lot of people, a lot of your own things got damaged, and now where to do the disposal. And there is no proper method used, even the clinical waste, again another thing. Clinical waste you need to dispose at high temperature. We have mainly one incinerator uh, owned by Putlam Cement, where you can heat it to 1200 and dispose the things. So a proper system should be there to dispose. Even the standard says when you make a chimney, it need to have 30 meters height. Otherwise, it will contaminate to uh, the lower level of the where we used to uh, use the air to uh, uh, your
Inhale.
requirement. Inhale and these things. So you need to put it somewhere above 30 meters. So otherwise you will inhale the air or the pollutions. And the water, again, another factor, right? Even I test some of the water very recently, where the one of the mountain at the very low level, and there's no houses in that mountain, uh, somewhere hill area, but the water is not uh, usable. So what the recommendation? Don't use for drinking purposes. Use it only for washing purposes, right? So sometimes we have our own well. Uh, there is no guarantee the water is good to use. So the water what you find is something with some equally or coliforms, right? So those are the dangerous substance you find with the water. And living organism, and this cycle is not there. Even birds, the ecological factors, uh, no one thinks on that. The air is the another problem you find. So basically the four areas. Yeah. Any question? So basically, this is where the carbon cycle you find. You get CO2, and CO2 is absorbed by the trees, and then the methane comes from some of the animals. So it will decomposition, and it come as a fossil fuel, and it used in the factories and all. Uh, the cycle we call carbon cycle, and I'm just going fast because we have limited time here. Then this is what we call hydrological cycle, and how the water, the cycle, how you get the precipitation and all these things. And another thing is there are important thing. Most of the time we use the deep well. Some of the factories in our context, deep well is something dangerous, because why? We try to drill the rock and get the water. The water flow, the stream comes from somewhere in a far away. Somewhere it can be from a mountain or not from the uh, nearby. When you use the groundwater means when you dig a well somewhere 20, 30 feet in the ground, it there you get groundwater, because that is the water you get from the uh, surface water, and the water table you find which where the nearby river is maintaining the water table. But when you have a deep well, so those water comes from far away, and later on you find uh, the water yield is not as expected, then sometimes you close it, but the voids are yet there. Right? Those voids can make some earth slips or some damages to the uh, environment. So this is somewhere stopped, but yet I see it is continued. So Environment Authority stopped it. They didn't give permission or license to uh, have it. But yet I saw there is a company I know, they do. Then carbon footprint. So carbon footprint is somewhere individual need to take some action on preventing it, right? So carbon footprint, water footprint. So all these footprint. So as the Nike use to stop air freight, which is something as a company they have used. It's a footprint, right? So we can think why Nike is only started this, the others all are using. So there is no impact, right? So this is what we need to develop. We need to inculcate with the people to have this kind of culture, even when you go from one room to other room, just to practice to switch off the lights where uh, you find some of the lights you switch on, but as a practice you don't do switching off, and even some of the fans are working. No one think that to switch off it, and try to use whatever the sunlight available. And now most of the people get used to air conditions, and try to cover even daytime you use a lot of lights. And there are some other techniques like used to sunlight, and different mechanisms you find in even making a building. Then at the designing stage you can use this getting sunlight and try to use the daylight, and without using your own lights at the daytime. Even control the use of air conditions. I have seen most of the time the temperature what you use is 22, right? Some people needs 18 as well. Uh, most of the people get the skin of buffalo. They need basically somewhere 18, right? So the skin is thick. So buffaloes, most of the time, they used to be in the water, no? So people also like that. And try to use something 24, 26, 25, 26, right? That is very, make you are mentally, you need to be comfortable, satisfied, other than, otherwise using somewhere like Norelia, and you are freezing, right? And it is not comfortable for all the people. Try to maintain it if you want, so where you can reduce your energy consumption. And also, I will show you another working with the total cost of ownership, not in this, in next session. Uh, some example, right? So use of the new versions of refrigerators or fridge in your home, and try to calculate and see. Sometimes your calculate when you do calculation, this is where the analytics comes. It will show you the investment, uh, the recovery of the investment, right? Somewhere uh, 2 to 3 years, you can recover your investment, right? The issue here, but we are not aware on those things, and we don't do calculations, right? So you have to do some calculations and see to recover. Now you do this masters MSc, right? Uh, have you thought to recover it? Anyone thought of recovering this expenditure? Anyone? Have you thought to recover? Where you can recover it?
Sorry, sir, please repeat the question.
Now you invest for this masters, no? Have you thought of recovering this expenditure?
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes, yes.
How?
Mm, there are two ways. One is from an entrepreneurship.
Hmm.
Second is from a highly paid job.
Okay. Yeah, this is the concept you have to have, right? When you do education is something you are going to invest. So invest means there should be a return. It should recover within very fast. If it is able to recover within 3 years, then investment is something perfect, feasible, right? What I have done, I have recovered. Now bonus. So that's what my concept. Whatever I do, I try to see where I can recover. Right. Even recently, I wanted to get electric vehicle. Then I paid advance to that, and came back and did the calculation and found it is not easy to recover, and no feasibility in that. So quickly went back and got my money and cancel it. So think on that. Whatever investment you made to education, no issue, right? Education, you can recover very fast. Within one job, you can recover. Change your job once you get the masters. And I have some experience in the sense examples with the first batch, right? One of my students, he worked under me, and later on he went to a company, and I suggested him to do this masters because there is no masters in supply chain. So at the last semester, he got another job, then from one place to another place, mainly because of the MSc, right? So he recovered, I think, within two salaries. Right. So education is very easy. You need to think on that. Whatever, if you can recover your investment, that is the best. So think on that, even your companies, uh, with that culture. right? So some of the people in previous, I found some of the people, especially the entrepreneurs, they don't like to make people educated. So they don't want to follow, even they don't give training for their employees. What they say, what they think, when the people learn things, they will change the job or they will go somewhere else. The retention is difficult, right? Because of that, they don't uh, give them opportunity to learn. In the other way, if you don't get the learning, or if you don't get the knowledge, then what will happen to your company? Finally, the company will collapse because not having updates. There are companies, Nokia, Sony, those companies you find uh, this is the main reason for failures, right? Give me 1 minute. Okay, continue with this. And other activities, carbon footprint is one of the thing. Just try to understand the concept, right? Carbon footprint is individuals act on controlling the pollutions. So, as person, as an individual, if you can manage it, control it, then everyone will do it. Then finally, you will get the uh, something uh, objective you can achieve, whatever the objectives that you have. So, footprint is somewhat individual action on carbon controls, then nitrogen, sulfur, and water. So these footprints are available: nitrogen footprint, sulfur footprint, carbon footprint. So basically, whatever other things also you can incorporate the footprint. Then warming, you find greenhouse gas. Now you know that in the concentration of the atmospheric of CO2 increased 36% over the past 250 years. And yet you find every year the sea water level increase. And there are some predictions. Some of the countries you will not find another 10, 15 years. Some of the countries, what they predict. But in the other side, I see the countries are trying to fill the sea. Even we have one experience with the where the Colombo port, what is that called? What is the name of that? Port City, right? So Port City is again one of the action that we encroach the sea, converted sea into land, right? And if you go through the Singapore, they have done a lot. Not only that, they have made a tunnel, uh, uh, even it's under sea, right? So some of the tunnels, and the beach road is somewhere middle of the country. In previous, the beach road means you found the beach, but now it is somewhere middle of the country. So they have uh, increased the land area, right? In some of the countries, you find in this kind of act as well. So people mainly going against the environment, right? You can remember recently the where the Dubai, you got a main flood, and that also something experience uh, which was not expected. Right. So basically, in going through the emission and or the greenhouse gases and uh, how it connected to the uh, logistic part is explained here. So you need to act, and the most important thing, easy access is in this. To practice, you can use some of the system. There are many systems like ISO 14,000, right? So adapting to a system is the uh, easiest way that you can control. Otherwise, something difficult, because when a system is there, then people will get used to system, and system will uh, going ahead, right? So system will become active. Otherwise, if you use individual person to do this, that is very difficult as a industry, right? But when it comes to individual person in houses, there we can think on footprint, but uh, there individually you have to act on that. But when it comes to organizations, basically organizations can adapt to a system like ISO 14,000, and those systems gives you different activities, and that system is governed by managed by uh, some of the theories we call the underpinning theories, such as PDCA, Plan, Do, Check, Act, Deming cycle. Uh, so, without knowing, uh, uh, only adapting to the practices, only adapting to the systems, you will not notice, but without noticing, you will get the achievement of the objectives. So try to develop objectives relating to the environmental pollutions or sustainability, then it is easy that you can connect it with your system and try to drive the systematic relationship between society, the economy, and natural environment. So this is what easy access that you to continue. So the industry ecology focuses on redesigning of manufacturing. You need to think on that. This is where we find the cradle to cradle, where we find to have the what you call circular economy, and where you don't find the waste. So with the redesigning of all your processes and your activities like green procurement, product packaging, green designing, energy consumption, then eco practices and some packing, then green manufacturing. You can you can reduce or control your energy consumptions and waste and improve the quality. Then green distribution, energy, again, you need to think on energy, your transportation and calculate. And there is another mechanism we start. Anyway, we will be discussing that in your other in sourcing, which I don't remember. Yeah, we didn't discuss that part. I think ABC, activity-based costing, and similar to that we used in environmental protection in this management as well, in EMS, environmental management system, and reverse logistic, where you minimize waste and again the cradle to cradle, your waste, your final product, once the life cycle is over, then it should come as another input, another life. So this is where you can think on implementing the green part. This is green purchasing. All your purchases should comply the standards ISO 14000. So when you buy something, when you buy your raw material, you need to see whether it is environmentally environmental friend, or have they use some of the practices. Now the ISO 14000 is very strict. Even you can't dispose let's say you are going to give your what you call the scraps, scrap material. Most of the time we used to find a person, there are people, now you find a lot of lorries going collecting scrap. You can't give your scrap material as you want. You need to find what they do, right? Most of the people, they get all your scrap, your polythene, your cardboard, everything they take, and what they do, they burn, right? You can't burn the polythene. They give you a good price and they get two, three times of that price by selling only one part. But other things, what they do, they try to burn it, right? So uh, that is what you need to observe. You have to go and see and get people who are certified to collect it. So you are responsible. Even you can't just escape by saying that we have given it, they purchase it, the contract is finished, right? No. Uh, Under green concept, the contract is not finished. So eco design, your product, you need to design you have to use the material, packing, so all disposable material, and there are some standard to be used, and packing is important to marketing purposes and protect the product. So those are important, but your packing should design according to the environment, the disposals. Uh, then the again further designing. So how you design your product, and cooperation with customers for eco design. There are some customers, they are very specific on these designing these requirements, right, and disposal, and that is why you find a different market on these with use of the some of the packing, and even recently the government introduced to pay for the shopping bags right now. There is some kind of impact on that, but some of the uh, shops yet they use the same. So some of the shops, they have changed, they have introduced some of their own eco-friendly bags, and we have to people need to understand and get into practice, right? If you used to practice in switch off your lights all the time, probably you will do it at the daytime as well, right? You have to put the concept practice into your subconscious mind. This is where we lack. We are not trying to put the things, right? Even uh, many things. Now you drive your vehicle, you never think, no, you have put everything, all the actions into your subconscious mind, and the mind is driving, right? You probably you will take mobile phone. Now I used to take all the mobile all the calls during driving, right? Otherwise I don't have time, and I don't know the practice is good or bad. I have no choice. But initially, I know when I start driving, I give my instructions where I need to go, right? Let's say I need to go to Open University. Uh, it will drive to Open University on time, right? But during that, I can do many things without affecting to driving, right? Even uh, how to manage the traffic and how to make time effective. All these things, it is there. The subconscious mind is acting, do everything, right? And then green practices, we divide it to two things, reactive and proactive. Reactive is done by legislation and regulations. When it comes to legislations, there are statutory and regulatory two things. Statutory comes from Parliament uh, passed, and regulatories are some of the government institute they introduced, like CEA, Central Environment Authority. They have introduced some CEA license. Then labor regulation, factory ordinance is there, labor act and ordinance. You find labor act, factory ordinance, you need to get some of the approval. There are some requirements. You need to work 8 hours. When you work more than 8 hours, you get overtime. Likewise, the act is there. And proactive, in procurement, you need to take some action before, right, to proact. Before happening, you need to think on your designing or your reverse logistic, your concept, your culture development, your people behaviors, all these practices you can put into that. This is what I got from ISO 14,000. So, okay, then we can go to the lean concept. Now, the green is finished. We can go to the lean. Uh, what is lean basically? Lean is introduced by TPS. The person is Taichi Ohono. She is one of the Japanese. He's the father of the founder of TPS, Toyota Production System. And he is the founder, he is the father of lean, and there is a philosophy in this lean. So lean is mainly focused with the value addition, right? So I remember we discussed the value stream mapping. When you map your value adding processes, your process you need to map. With that mapping, you can identify what activities are not uh, relating or incorporating to add value. So where you can eliminate, remove, or there is a principle, there is a method called ECRS. ECRS means eliminate, combine. ECR means reduce or recycle, then simplify, right? So having mapping the process, you can see what are the activities. So mapping means you are not just mapping only the activity. With the process flow mapping you can use, but we need to consider all, even the actions, right? There are some psychological and physiological things like ergonomics. Ergonomics means law of work. When you want to increase your productivity, you need to see on the ergonomics factors that is going to impact on occupational health. So all these things you need to identify, understand, or identify how long it take the activity, where you can reduce the activity. This is what the Japanese they do in their production system. Though they do assembling process, and how long they study. They do the time study, work study, and all these things, and try to see what are the motion involved in the process, how many times they need to uh, uh, do some of the motions. If it is frequently happening, like motion is repetitive motions, then they try to eliminate it or do some changes on that. Otherwise, there will be fatigue failures. Likewise, you have to go in depth and do the analysis. And what is you find in this concept, when I go through and try to relate with some of the uh, hydraulic principles, Bernoulli principles, and looking that, we can see when the quantity, the delivered quantity should be same, right? In lean mean, you are not going to change the entire process. Let's say your production today is 50 50 packs per hour. So after lean also you will get 50, but some of the process, some of the waste you have reduced, you have eliminated. The cost wise you will find uh, a gain on that, right? So when you reduce your waste in your process, definitely your cost is going to reduce. If you can reduce cost, then your profitability will increase. So area is same, velocity is V1, then your Q is area into velocity, then your Q2 you have to get the same. Your area is less, but your velocity should be high, right? You need to work hard, you need to work fast. Identify customer value, focus on process that create value, eliminate waste to create flow, and produce only according to customer demand, strive for perfection. So this is what something similar to lean, you are increasing the velocity, right? You may have now what we do, we try to increase number of people, and the people productivity is uh, going down. They used to have chat and go through Facebook and enjoy, do TikTok and all these things while working. So you can reduce all these waste. And now when you see German or European people, what they do, they work fully 8 hours. No other things. They work fully 8 hours. But after work, after 8 hours, they even single minute they never stop. They go home, and no Saturday, Sunday, and even no phone call answer. So they enjoy. But when they work, right? Most of the time, what happened to us, we try to get some relax or something. If you want to get uh, a rest, then you go to work, right? So Saturday, Sunday, all the days you work in the sense you active on some other things and your family matters or whatever thing, and go trips, enjoy, and go to work and have a rest. So this is what we find. Uh, it is difficult to use in the practice of this lean. Why? There are a lot of restrictions because people, uh, once they get used to some comfortable places, they don't like to have changes, right? So recently there was the Viva session for the first batch, and one of the researcher came and explained about the railway. So did a very good comprehensive study, and uh, now to find what are the barriers and challenges to develop the railway system, right? So all the explanation what the students was trying to show, mainly the change, reluctant to change, and there is a phobia, right? So when you find reluctant to change, that's a phobia kind of syndrome. It is called metathesiophobia, right? So reluctant to change is something uh, phobia. Also, it's a syndrome, right? Likewise, there is another syndrome, a student syndrome. What is student syndrome? Can guess? Hmm?
Something like exam fear.
No. Exam fear is not a syndrome. It's kind of phobia. Yeah, anyway. Uh, student syndrome is last moment submission. So if anyone submit last moment, think on that. It's a syndrome, right? You are suffering with some syndrome. Similarly, there's another one, Parkinson syndrome. Parkinson syndrome is all the time you find in government. So you majority, I think, from government. No, this is public procurement. No, to think bureaucratic controls. So again, it's a park. It's called Parkinson syndrome. So lean find some waste, right? So different things, working progress, defective deliveries, downtime, and all these things, which will find issues in productivity. So when you remove those waste, you find you are somewhere risky level, but your productivity is going to increase. So you have reduced your waste, your unutilized uh, unutilized activities. So sometimes there is another principle, I will come to that later, identified as a new concept in waste. Basically, we talk seven waste, now it has become eight waste. So lean philosophy is its focus on elimination of all forms of waste. Waste can be defined as any activity that does not add value. For example, studies often shows that as little as 5% of total throughput time is actually spent directly adding values. This means that for 95% of its time, an operation is added cost to that service or product, not adding value. Throughput means the time taken, your process. When you submit a document, then let's say you are going to get your passport. So you were in the queue, and once you submit it, the queue times queuing, there is a separate study. When you submit the things and how long it will take and come to you, that is where the throughput. So during that you find 5%, which means 95% of time can operation is added cost to the service or product. So there you find you can just map the process and see what sort of waste activities. There are activities, some of the activities, sometimes the repetitive activities can have. So you have to get two times, you have to get signatures, you need to go back and commit, check it, and again get it likewise. Now this, they have, the banks, they have changed this. Earlier there was a system, whatever payment the cashier need to make, they have to get the approval from the manager. Right now, they have reduced it, they have removed it, they have introduced a limit to cashier. And if it is above 100,000, then the cashier has to take approval. So below that, cashier can take decision. So with that, some of the queuing is not there. So queuing is again a waste, right? You are in the queue, being in the queue a long time, it's something waste. You can do a lot of business, a lot of decision you can take during that time. So then this is one exercise that you can see where you can get uh, approach to introduce the lean. First you have to read, you need to make your process and see where the repetitive things are there, where non-value addition are there. You can do the main important thing what you can use in concept is ECRS. So I did one project using this ECRS in procurement. Procurement in the sense, when I was in ceramics, when we want to, as an engineer, I need to order some spare parts. So the ordering process, it was too long. Uh, uh, Going to like let's say some of the activities prior to request for quotation, it takes a longer period, right? So the factory is in one place, the commercial manager is in another place, but factory itself, you need to do some of the things are there, repetitive things. I need to raise a purchase requisition, then it has to go to where stores department, then uh, the warehouse manager, warehouse manager, he has to write another request and get the factory manager's approval, and then need to send it to the commercial manager. Commercial manager call for quotations, and they do scheduling and send it to factory manager. It comes to me. I need to check the technical feasibilities, and again it has to go to factory manager, and then commercial. Likewise, uh, when you do the all the activities separately, you can see some repetitive things. So finally, let's say it take 30 days, I was able to reduce it to 10 days, the process. So likewise, you have to map it and see. You can give A for one activity, B for another activity. Likewise, you just make the number of A's, number of B's, C's, D's. Likewise, where you see repetitive things, you can uh, apply the ECRS and try to make short. Lean is a philosophy of how to run operations. Three key issues define the lean philosophy: improvement of staff, involvement of staff in operations, the drive for continuous improvement, the elimination of waste. Continuous improvement, which Japanese call as Kaizen, CI, continuous improvement is again another continuum, innovation continuum, right? So this is called incremental innovation. And the awareness, it is very important, and your action on elimination of waste. And lean is method of planning and controlling operations, synchronizations, material information, and customers. So benefit of lean system: reduce waste and low cost. Reduce cost. When you reduce waste, cost reduce. Increase quality and motivated by customer, and the customer satisfaction again increase. Reduce cycle time, then the productivity will increase, and flexibility due to quick changeovers. And yeah, okay. Then risk in lean system: increase stress on workers due to increased responsibilities that is there. uh, Fewer resources, you are going to limit some of the resource, but with the technological improvement, you can get some high contribution on this. And Toyota approach, you find some of the concept. I included those we call Muda. Muda is waste, and there's another concept called 3M: Muda, Mura, and Muri. I'll come to that. So Muda means waste, and Kanban again. You are going to have some method to use using some uh, like using cheats. You can there's a computer system called a sticky paste. You can paste. You usually you use some 3M. They have a product that you can make a note and stick the small piece of paper. So this kind of system what you use in Kanban. And Hijunka is a variation in production which we discuss it under Six Sigma, the variations. Then Kaizen is continuous improvement. Then Jidoka is quality at the source. You need to develop the quality of the machineries and some of the efficiency improvements in your system, and automation, two things. And continuous improvement is Kaizen, where you need to do small improvements. Kaizens can be one of the improvement, and Kaizen is one of concept, and the and also this is one of the information flow which relating to supply chain management. Then respect is again important. These two things you can find in Japanese under their development. Then standard practices, standardizations, uh, without using different products, different items, you can standardize your system where you can improve it. And in the lean concept, you can see some of the buffer inventories in your process. So those basically waste. Inventory is waste, right? So under lean concept, they have identified inventory as a waste. So first waste elimination, then behavior, change the people behavior and synchronize with all the process and material, then focus your customer focus is again important. 3M is called Muda, Mura, and Muri, right? Muda means waste. What are the waste? Then Mura is lack of consistency. It can be unbalanced, uneven. Consistency is not there, right? Then Muri, again the absurd or unreasonable, it can be overloaded. Some of the people you find overloaded, right? Mura is waste, then Muda is waste, Mura is unbalanced or not unbalanced, inconsistent. Then no, Muri is inconsistent, then Mura is where the unbalance, right? So then in the lean systems, you find 7 waste, and now it become 8 waste. So transportation, inventory, motion, waiting, overproduction, and overprocessing, defect. And recently identified unutilized talents. So there are people find different talents. Some of the people can do comparing, some of the people can do presentation. Likewise, additional talents you find, you need to take all these things into use and develop and give chance and make opportunity or make a platform to perform them, right? So there are different concepts called quality circle and some quiz programs, then Toastmasters. So those things, it is important you to develop and see the talents of the people. So the last part is customer service. Hopefully we can discuss this as well quickly. Customer service is important because most of the things you find nowadays relating to business is voice of customers. We call word of mouth. So how you make the word of mouth under competitive environment. So competitive environment you find in all the businesses nowadays. So this is where we need to play a strategic role in retaining customers. What the Peter Drucker said, business means earning customers, not churning customers. So how we manage the supply chain customer strategies to retain the customers, because you are the people who involve at the two ends, supply side and customer side. So supply side is also important. Customer side is also important, both ends. So you deal uh, things with customers, how you manage it, what sort of important strategies going to take in this managing process. Who are customers? Your role, why care, being the best, and the loyalty fact, your responsibility. Basically, this is one concept you find in customer discipline. We call value discipline triangle: customer intimacy, product responsiveness, and product leadership, where you can give best product. Product leadership comes with the best product, and operational excellence. Then you give best total cost. Now, right, you have some of the taglines: right quality, right price, right quantity, all these things. The total cost will discuss under operational excellence, and customer intimacy, the product differentiation. So when you differentiate the product, again, you can go through the Maslow's hierarchy and see the segmentation. This is marketing segmentation, right? You are going to reach the top end, or you are going to reach the customers in low end. So those are important things. Try to learn this in detail, and there are value chain, value proposition, value discipline. So those are very important concept that in uh, the strategic management. Basically, two customers you find: internal and external. External means the end users. Internal means your colleagues, right? Marketing will be the customer of production. So then you are giving service, you are giving goods to marketing, then marketing sell. If marketing is happy, you are your performance is good, right? Internal customer. Then accounts. Accounts need to give support. Accounts is a service provider to the other people. You need to give salary on time. Otherwise, the internal customer will not happy about your process, right? So this is where you find something weak in organization. People in the organization never think that you have customers and you have suppliers. So types of customers: integrators, internal customers, distributors, agents or brokers, then cyber dairies, then that is Amazon, like, then retailers and end customer. Then you find this is the structure. Basically, customer value, economic value, solution value, and psychological value, that is esteem value. So when the customer become brand loyal, then you get which means relating esteem value. I think we discussed this part in previous as well. Some of the under value addition, some of the values, I think. So customer values you can see in this way, and relationship with the network. Again, the network is important. A strong and weak. Who are weak ties? Who are strong ties? You need to understand, and the research uh, indicate having a good relationship with weak ties. Weak ties means some institution, government institution. There are, let's say, the health office is there in uh, all the areas. Then local government is there, police, army, and all these things parties are there outside. So they comes under Labor Department, all comes under weak ties with the organization. Strong ties means friends, relations. People like to have now, you can see most of the member of parliament, they have used their five sons and all uh, to uh, run their seats. And you find now entire family is going to jail. I recently you can see husband and wife both in jail, right? Those where you have gone to use the weak ties. Now the results you find finally who lost, the country lost, and these people, uh, family, entire family is in the jail. So then peace of mind again. You can go through all these buying experience. Uh, so in customer relationships, because you know about the supply relationship, and we are talking about customer side, and customer relationship is also important part in supply chain. And smart technologies again going to give you some inputs to improve the customer values. Some of the technology can be used, and customer centric value chain, and omni-channel is again another concept, and agile and scalable supplier, fast flow fulfillment. Then this is about customer relationship management. I think that's all. Yeah. So I just went some sort of speed on this. Why we have limited time to discuss all three areas. Anyway, to get just an idea, I hope that it would enough. Any question?
No questions, sir.
Okay, fine. So this is only just an overview, right? Not that in-depth knowledge on that. The syllabus given is something very broad, but just try to understand what is green, what is lean, right? Lean is focus on waste. Green is focus on sustainability. And agile is again there. Agile mean fast and flexible, right? So agile supply chain is there, fast and flexible. So concept wise, you find some changes, but trying to give uh, good service and the reduce cost, and become the uh, uh, to enjoy the competitive advantage, right? If you think in a strategic manner, this is where the main these concepts introduced. One way to reduce cost. When you reduce cost, you can increase your profitability. How we reduce cost? We need to do it ethically, right? Without any unethical practices. So without harming to the environment, then without harming to the people, right? That is why the people, planet, and you get profit. So if you can balance these three things, definitely the sustainability is there, right? But you don't find all the time uh, balancing part. So sometimes you need to sacrifice depending on the scale of the organizations, right?
So, can I
Yeah,
ask some
yeah, yeah.
question?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, then this all these theories are coming from this Western philosophy. I mean, all this they are introduced by most of the things are introduced by this, modern Western and Japanese theories, but
Mm,
Chinese uh, have now been came up with their production capabilities, and they are capturing the entire manufacturing world.
mm,
Then, but as my knowledge, they are not practicing this all this lean, no green. Any most those concepts are not with their manufacturing facilities, I think. That is why this Donald Trump also now more, eliminating some uh, uh, their environmental concerns. He's most some uh, because when just he came to the power, he uh, resigned from this world. Some organizations also they have
mm.
stopped their funding to all those
ADB.
organizations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ADB fund.
Then this the Chinese practice will
US.
yeah, yeah, that uh, then the entire world will uh, uh, future coming to that track. They are not going to practice those things because of this
Mm,
trend.
mm.
What is your idea on this?
No, basically, uh, what you find, the Japanese, they use, right? So Japanese, they use all these concepts, lean, green, Six Sigma, all these things they use. And the systems, some of the standards came from some of the even the Japanese also involved in developing the standard. The standards came from Europe, and there are some bodies trying to uh, involve like UN and make because when it comes to as an impact to the world, then definitely the leaders will get together and introduce. Now the SGD is there, sustainable goal development. There are 17 goals to eliminate poverty, to have a better environment. Then those things will come into act, and the countries need to follow those things. And but in the other way, the development is also required. So Chinese most of the time at the initial stage they went against those, and once they established the things, they started this is how basically it happened, right? When you start an organization as a small entrepreneur, you are not bothering about the environmental things and all these things, but that is in a smaller scale. And later on, uh, when you grew up, later on when you become stable, then you need to reverse the things. You need to you are thinking to have productivity and reduce cost, reduce waste. Then you are searching tools, relevant theories, tools, right? But at the beginning, you are not conversant on those things. You are trying to first establish the business, and then once you establish the business, you will think on now I need to go back and make this environment better and introduce some lean practices, 5Ss. Likewise, you are trying why you are trying to go to international business as next steps. Then they ask you standards, right? International business, they ask you standard, whether you have 14,000, 9,000. So to get the standard and compete with the international business, you need to develop those and make the place better, right? So as you said, yes, but uh, in working with the international businesses and getting into something sort of level of business, you need to use these practices. Otherwise, because when you become larger scale, you are unable to manage the organization, unlike the small scale, right? The structure change. In small scale, the structure is organic. You are in the middle, all are around. But large scale, sometimes multinational, the owner is somewhere in some other country, the business is in some other country, like see the Coca-Cola, everywhere in the world, the business is there. So then you need to rely on standards, you need to rely on best practices. Otherwise, the owner cannot involve all the time. He or she rely on all these standards, right? But there are countries they are trying to dominate and do changes, but anyway, uh, finally things will come to the entire world. Now the world is not that big or long. World is something short now. Uh, so we can't think on in as individual. We need to think as a uh, globe. So why the environment is for everyone, right? So countries need to have it. Sometimes you violate it, but again you need to come in. You need to put it to the same track, right? So uh, this is what the scenario what I find. But Japanese, they use all these practices. They use European, they use standards. They are not fully focusing on Japanese practices. Europe, they focus on standards. There are standards, international standard. That's what earlier the British standards, American standard, likewise different standards were there. Now we don't have those different standards. We have only international standard, ISO. So it is uh, very popular and everyone accept it. So this is what the important. People can now, you can do, you can have a business factory or something without considering all these things, but now you can't do. Why? Internal regulatory things are there. You need to get CA license, you need to get local authority approval. Likewise, internally the restrictions are there, right? So let's say, forget about the green, lean and all these things, but primary requirement you need to comply. When you want to get CA license, then it is mandatory thing, right? So otherwise you can't start. So to get that, you need to pollution control, noise control, have to have 55, 45 decibels, and water disposal, everything you need to do at the first instant, right? So this is where the controls comes, and later on now the primary things you can comply and start, but when you expand your business, then people will ask what standard you have. Now recently I got one requirement from one company. They need to get ISO certificate within 3 months or 2 months. Very fast they need to get it. Why? There is a business, there is a tender, they can't quote without having ISO. So it is difficult, right? They are trying to mislead people. So you can't have that. At least 6 months, 1 year it take to first make the system and auditing. There's a big process. So this is where the people try unethical practices, right? Even there are people you can bribe them and get it, but no sustainability then. I have tested this with some of the organization. Some of the organization who you find 50 years, 60 years, they are age now. Uh, Specifically, the sustainability is there. Why? No unethical practices. That is why The companies use unethical practices, no sustainability. So, hope the answer is clear, right? So, no hard and fast things, but some regulation, some statutory regulatory things are there, and so these lean, green, and all these things where you can think on somewhere when you establish the organization, right? These are not compulsory things, but you need one day. That is the important thing. So you search these things one day, but not at the beginning, somewhere in the middle, right? I know one company, they were operating 50 years, no lean, no green, no training, nothing, but ethically they were sound and operating 50 years. The owner education was somewhere up to grade 8. Then after 50 years now, somewhat the organization had a growth and did well, but the other competitors now becoming market leaders. They were the leader, but because of not having the standard practices and productivity improvements and all, the cost became high. Then those who had that, they became the leader and performing in the market. Then these people wanted to have all this ISO and all these things. So the requirement is getting at some certain level, right? At the beginning, you can avoid and uh, you can grow the business, but there are situations you need to think on, you need to change. All these things are there. Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
We anything else?
Thank you, sir. I get the answer.
Okay, right. Then we'll stop at this point, right? Thank you. Good night.
Good night, sir.
Good
Thank you.
night.